Hi, I'm Dennis Phillips, and welcome to Everyday Reloading and Shooting. All right, welcome back. If you follow my channel, you know that I just recently completed a series on the powder shootout, comparing 6 different rifle powders using a 52 grain Hornady boat tail hollow point bullet, comparing velocities between 3,000 and 3,200 feet per second. And so I wanted to make a video to share the results of that so you could see everything all in one place. And the videos are all on my channel here. So if you click on my channel name and then click on videos, you can see all of those powder shootout videos there. So what I have done is I have put together a summary of how all of these performed. So what I'm going to show you here is a photograph of each target that I shot, and then I'll show you a close-up of the best group from that target. So with the CFE 223, the starting charge weight was 26.2 grains, and you see that this particular target had an extreme spread of 0.86 and a mean radius of 0.35. If you go on to the Varget, you'll see again that my best group was at the starting charge weight for 3,000 feet per second, and that was 24.2 grains. That group had an extreme spread of 1.21 inches and a mean radius of 0.43 inches. If you look at the accurate 2460, once again, the starting charge weight produced the best results, and that was 23.5 grains of powder at 3,000 feet per second. We had an extreme spread of 0.86 and a mean radius of 0.34, so an excellent group there. On the H335, this was one of my best groups of all, and oddly, with this powder, this happened to be the maximum charge weight, which was 25.4 grains, and it produced 3,200 feet per second. And we had an extreme spread on this group at 0.83 inches and a mean radius of 0.27. And as I've said before, a radius is half a circle, and if you double that, that gives you an average group size of 0.54 inches. And where you see that extreme spread is 0.83, if you were to take out that flyer, which is just to the right here, you would have an extreme spread of 0.58. And then when we go to the IMR 3031 powder, our fourth target, which was at 23.9 grains, shooting 3,150 feet per second, that produced our best group, and we were under an inch there at 0.93 inches with a mean radius of 0.31, which gives you an average group size of 0.62 inches. So very pleased with that. Then for the accurate 2200, once again, the starting charge weight produced our best group. And we had a starting charge weight of 21.3 grains, giving us 3,000 feet per second and velocity. We had an extreme spread there of 0.74 inches, so under 3/4 of an inch on 10 shots there. Just really pleased with that. And the mean radius of 0.29, which gives you an average group size of 0.58 inches. So what I put together here, here's a chart. What I did is I got on the Excel and created a spreadsheet. And what I did is I analyzed each of these groups by extreme spread and mean radius. So you see across the top, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I've got the velocities for these under there, 3,000, 3,050, 3,100, 3,150, and 3,200. And then if you look below each of those, I've got ES for extreme spread and MR for the mean radius. And then at the very bottom, what I have done is I have averaged all of those to give you an average for the velocity. So for 3,000 feet per second, all of the powders combined gave an average extreme spread of 1.078 inches and a mean radius of 0.387 inches. And as you can see, that was the tightest group and the lowest mean radius for all of the powders combined. So just on average, just looking at nothing but pure velocity, on average, 3,000 feet per second gave us the best extreme spread and the best mean radius for all of the powders averaged together. And then if you look to the right over here, you can see where I have averaged all of the extreme spreads and mean radiuses for each powder. So if you come across the row for the top row for CFE 223, for example, and look to the far right, you can see that at every charge weight, the average extreme spread was 1.19 inches. I left the decimal out there. And a mean radius of 0.40 inches. And you can look at that for each of these powders. Now, if you want to see which groups perform the best performing groups were, I'll give you the best first, and that's the Accurate 2200 powder at 3,000 feet per second. And that had an extreme spread of 0.74 and an average mean radius of 0.29 inches. If you look up from there at the IMR 3031 powder and come across to column 4, you'll see that at 3,150 feet per second, they averaged a 0.93 extreme spread, and they had a mean radius of 0.31. So if you'll go up one to H335 and go over one to column 5, you'll see that the extreme spread for the H335 at 3,200 feet per second was 0.83 with a mean radius of 0.27. So there's a synopsis of the powder shootout, with the Accurate 2200 at 3,000 feet per second being the winner here at 0.74 extreme spread and a mean radius of 0.29. So if you are interested in a good load for the 52 grain boat tail hollow point bullet, that Accurate 2200 powder is going to give you a good result, I think. All right, so there you go. There's my analysis. I hope you find this information beneficial. And if you have any thoughts, suggestions, ideas, comments, please leave those below. And as always, don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.